Hello, everyone, and welcome to Radical Thinker, the place where we challenge Western media narratives and perspectives. Today is Tuesday, 21st of April, day 53 of the American and Israeli war imposed on the Islamic Republic of Iran. Supposedly, starting with today, we should see the beginning of another round of negotiations in Islamabad between the Americans and the Iranians, but this new session of negotiations, it's still hanging. We don't know if it's going to happen, although the Americans are pushing hard for the negotiations. The Iranian side has been reluctant, especially after the Americans imposed a naval blockade on Iran, and secondly, after 2 days ago, they attacked an Iranian-owned vessel in the Persian Gulf, and they also captured its crew. We don't know for sure for now if we are going to see another round of negotiations taking place today or tomorrow in Islamabad. According to Iranian state media, no delegation from Iran has visited Islamabad so far. There is still some time. The negotiations, if are going to happen, they will happen probably in the evening or tomorrow evening. It seems that the supreme leader of Iran, Mojtaba Khamenei, has given the green light for the Iranian delegation to engage in a new round of negotiations in Pakistan. According to certain American sources, J.D. Vance, the American vice president, will also attend on behalf of the American team alongside the President Trump's envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. So the same people which took part in the first round of negotiations seem to participate this time too, which is not a positive thing because the two salesmen, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, are nothing but Israeli agents participating in this charade called negotiations with Iran. And also J.D. Vance, as we saw, he is neither very bright and neither does he have a lot of influence to change things and to redirect things on a positive path when it comes to this conflict. He seems to be reluctant to understand the fact that during a negotiation process, both sides should make compromises, both sides should find ways to reach a deal and not only participate just to impose maximalist demands on the other side. This is not how negotiations are going to go. Yesterday, Bagher Kalibaf, which is the speaker of the Iranian parliament, had a statement. He said Trump, by imposing a siege and violating the ceasefire, seeks to turn this negotiating table in his own imagination into a table of surrender or to justify renewed warmongering. We do not accept negotiations under the shadow of threats, and in the past 2 weeks we have prepared to reveal new cards on the battlefield. So it seems that the Iranians are understanding that most probably the negotiations are just a cover-up for a new round of fighting, that the Americans are using this pretext in order to prepare for the resumption of the hostilities, and Iranians have used this ceasefire time wisely, it seems, and they are preparing for the second round where they probably will be able to counter in a better way American and Israeli attacks, and for sure they have some aces in their sleeves and they are going to have a lot of surprises for the aggressors. Yesterday also we found out that the Pakistani side conveyed a message to President Trump warning him against using strong language publicly. So I think even the Pakistanis, which are playing the mediator role in this story, they had enough with the stupid statements coming on a daily basis, if not on almost hourly basis from Washington. What Donald Trump says doesn't make sense at all. Yesterday, for example, he was claiming that Iran and the USA will sign last night an agreement. And even the White House and other American officials denied what Trump was saying. There is no treaty being signed for now, although in Donald Trump's mind, something like this it's happening. It's clear that the orange clown in Washington has lost the plot, and there are a lot of people in the administration who need to clarify things when he speaks in front of public audiences, because it's very obvious that what Donald Trump usually says it's either invented or it's just the subject of his rotten imagination, an imagination which is strongly affected by his bad mental state. Therefore, everyone should be very wary of Donald Trump's statements, especially when he claims that Iran has completely surrendered, that Iran is going to give the Americans the uranium stockpile, that Iran has agreed to every American demand, and so on and so forth, especially when Donald Trump, after making this type of stupid claims, he is continuing to threaten the Iranian side. An attitude which, as I said, even irritated the Pakistanis. They want Donald Trump to tone down his public statements in order for the second round of negotiations to happen. Although I don't even know what Pakistanis are expecting from these negotiations. If they are expecting a real deal between the current administration in Washington and the Iranians, the chances are really, really slim, because the Americans don't seem to want to negotiate in good faith. They want to portray themselves as peacemakers or as wanting to have a deal. But when it comes to direct negotiations and when it comes to making concessions and to understand the points of view of the other side, the Americans seem to be very reluctant to do so. On contrary, they have this attitude as if they won the war and that Iran should completely surrender in front of them, which is complete lunacy, because the Iranians, not only they didn't lose the war, but also they managed to successfully counter, and they reacted very well to the American and the Israeli aggression. And for each stupid things that the Americans made, the Iranians had strategic answers which really put the Americans in a hard situation. After the seizure of the Iranian-owned vessel called Tuska in the Persian Gulf, the armed forces of Iran, especially the Revolutionary Guards, they said that they are going to retaliate against what they are calling the United States maritime robbery, which is exactly what it is, taking sailors as hostage in international waters just because you wanted to impose an illegal naval blockade, which is not supported by any international organization. There is no United Nations resolution to support this type of actions. It's clear that the Americans are the modern pirates of the 21st century. Yesterday, the Pentagon came with its latest figures related to the first round of the war. 271 Army personnel, 63 Navy sailors, 62 Air Force members, and 19 Marines have been injured. According to what the Pentagon is saying, this update reflects an increase from the previous count of around 399 injured US military personnel. For sure, the numbers are much, much higher, but the Americans, the same as the Israelis, are censoring heavily the reality on the ground, because if Pentagon would release the real numbers, then we would see probably a real discussion in the United States about how successful this war really was, contrary to what Trump and his administration tries to portray, the picture that they are presenting to the American audience. For sure, the reality is a little bit different, and for sure, the Americans have suffered serious losses, and not only material losses, but also human losses in the first part of this war, which seems that is going to resume in the near future if the negotiations in Islamabad are going to collapse. J.D. Vance, the American vice president, is still in Washington. He's waiting for a signal to see if the Iranian delegation will leave Tehran for Islamabad. We don't know for sure. The Iranians have said that as long as the naval blockade is being active, they are not going to participate. But on the other side, we have reports that the Supreme Leader of Iran has endorsed the participation of the delegation in a new round of negotiations. But it seems that the Iranians are not yet ready to completely close the door on negotiations, on a diplomatic agreement. They still want to use this card for as long as it is feasible for them to use it, although the prospects of reaching a deal are very, very slim. The Iranians are ready to use the diplomatic card to a longer extent, thinking that maybe there is still a possibility to reach a deal with the American side. And also by doing this, they are gaining precious time for their armed forces to regroup, rearm, and prepare for the second round of negotiations. But who knows, maybe there is a miracle on the horizon and we are not seeing it, and maybe at the end of this session of negotiations, we are going to see a new deal, a deal which is reasonable, especially for the Iranian side, but also it will be respected by the Americans. The chances, honestly, are really slim. But as long as there are negotiations, something could happen.